In the Gospel of John, chapter 10, we hear about an event in the life and ministry of Jesus. It says, at that time, the Feast of the Dedication took place at Jerusalem. The Feast of the Dedication. The root, the three-letter root on which the word Hanukah is based, is the root Hanak, the ch sound, the n, and the k, chet nun kuf in Hebrew. And this word means to dedicate or to rededicate. So when Jesus is at the Feast of the Dedication, He is observing nothing less than Hanukkah. So this most important figure in early Christianity, Jesus Himself, makes a special trip to Jerusalem in winter when it's not typically the time of lengthy travel in order to celebrate where it happened, when it happened. So at that time, the Feast of the Dedication took place in Jerusalem. It was winter time, this time of year, a time when typically it's in the middle of the rainy season and kings don't go out to war and people don't typically travel. It was winter and Jesus was walking in the temple. The book of John is very specific. In the portico of Solomon, a specific area in the temple. The Jews therefore gathered around Him and they said, how long are you going to keep us in suspense? If you are the Christ, the Redeemer, the Rescuer, the Deliverer, if you are the Christ, then tell us plainly. I think that there's a direct connection between these two because in the books of 1st and 2nd Maccabees, the Hasmonean house or the Maccabean family are designated as the Redeemers that God rose up to deliver the people of Israel from those who would oppress them. Here's a picture of a temple model, a city model in Jerusalem. We use it quite extensively when we're teaching there, and it's quite accurate based on the literature and on the archaeology of the time. So this picture has the temple in the foreground. You can see the larger court, which is the court of the Gentiles, the royal stoa, or the Beit HaChanuyot, as it's called in rabbinic sources, where the buying and selling and money changing took place. You have also the highest part, which is surrounded by golden spikes. That would cover the Holy of Holies. And then you have the retaining wall that was built largely by King Herod the Great and his successors. And part of that retaining wall was this area here that had older looking stones from the time of the Maccabees or Hasmoneans. And it was thought by the people of Jesus' day that these dated all the way back to King Solomon. And so Jesus is walking in this covered courtyard with the colonnades there that's sometimes called the porch or the colonnade of Solomon. So here it says in the Gospel of Matthew, quoting the prophecy of Micah, yet another reason why we as Christians should be connected to this world of Hanukkah. This prophecy applied to the life of Jesus by Matthew, Micah says, but you, Bethlehem Ephratah, too little to be among the clans of Judah, Bethlehem, Judah, from you will go forth for me one who would be a ruler in Israel. His goings forth are from long ago, even from the days of eternity. There's another passage in the Gospel of John that sort of adds on to this. Hasn't the Scripture said that the Christ comes from the offspring of David? And there's your connection to Bethlehem. David of the son of Jesse from Bethlehem. So if the Jewish people had not survived this scourge of Greek rule and this official persecution, an attempt to set up the first one world government that would wipe away Jewish distinctives, if that had been successful, there would have been no Joseph and Mary, no Joseph of the line of David, no Mary of the line of royalty and priesthood for Jesus to have been born, no Jewish city called Nazareth that would have existed on into the first century for Jesus to grow up in. No Judaism for Jesus to have fulfilled its prophecies, to have lived and taught among its people, for Jesus Himself and all of the earliest disciples, including the 12 apostles, all being Jewish. That would not have existed, and we wouldn't be standing here having this conversation together. So is this an important observance for those of us on the Christian side of faith in God? Absolutely.